So did that get your attention? Uh, Anthony Bourdain killed himself today. And for those of you who have been following the news, it's the second big celebrity suicide. It's brought it into people's focus. It's also brought a lot of dumbass comments. So if you don't like bad language, get the fuck out now because I'm going to be raw today. I'm not censoring anything. This is my story of suicide and depression and how it's affected me. And I hope in hearing it, it can help somebody else. I talk about it on stage. I'm very open about it. I'm not ashamed about it. I deal with depression in my life. It has been a constant companion. I first thought about committing suicide when I was 6 years old. Can remember where I was, can remember what I was doing, can remember sitting there over traffic for what seemed like hours deciding, should I jump? Should I jump in front of cars at 6 years old, coming from a great family, coming from a great background, loving parents, whatever a 6-year-old could want, I had it. Didn't matter. Because in that moment, I knew I was worthless. I knew the world would be better off without me. And years later, they came up with the understanding that kids can commit suicide. It was a big thing in the 1980s. They discovered this. Children actually committed suicide. I knew it when I was 6 because I almost did it. Wasn't the last time, probably won't be the last time that that's come to me. You know, for people who deal with depression, it's just a part of our lives. And for people who don't, for the people who make the comments about Bourdain or anybody else that just chooses to end their life, that deals with this disease, fuck you. You don't have a clue what we deal with. See, we're fellow travelers. We're born in pain and we are in pain all the time. People who know me casually, they know me as pretty goofy. They know me as someone who never takes things seriously, pretty much. They know me as somebody who jokes about shit a lot. People who know me close, and that's very few, they know that I deal with depression. They know, they've seen it. They've seen it destroy me. They've seen it mess up relationships, business opportunities, friendships. Some of you out there probably knew me better at some point until depression fucked it up. So for those of us who deal with this disease, and it's a disease, when we read about somebody else, a fellow traveler, giving up after the struggle, we get it because it is a struggle. You know, in the Avengers, there's a great line. They tell Bruce Banner, "You better get mad," and he said, "That's my secret. I'm always angry." Well, my secret is I'm always sad every day, every moment of the day, because my brain chemistry doesn't work right. That's it. My brain chemistry doesn't work right, and because of that, I built a life around it and behaviors around it. I had to get help for it. And had Anthony Bourdain maybe gotten help, he might still be here. You don't know though, because this disease is a lifelong thing. And a lot of times, again, people will make comments, "Oh, he's so weak to have done that." You don't know. I'm stronger than you'll ever be if you make a comment like that, because every day I have to confront this disease. Every day I have to pull myself out of this thing. Every day there's an old man screaming in my head, and he's been there since I was a small child, constantly screaming in chains, in pain. That's what depression is. Don't think because you've been sad you understand depression. It's a disease. I wish it had a different name so people would get it. I've spent my life fighting it, but also, as I talk about on stage, this curse of mine is a gift. Because of it, I've had to help people. I've learned to help people. I learned about the mind. I developed my confidence formula. I had to teach myself to be confident because every once in a while, it all goes south. And all I can think about, honestly, is I want to die. And that's really hard for the people who care about you to deal with. I feel worse for my wife, my son, seeing that in someone they care about. When you want to die, when you wake up with the thought, "I want to die," when you go to bed with that thought, when every moment in between is that thought, it gets tiring. It gets really tiring. So if you have a friend that decides to end it, understand they did it because they were worn out from the battle, the struggle. Now, if you're someone who's thinking about ending it, I'll let you know this. There's hope. Hold on. You see, on a day when you're going to do it, when you're literally going to do it. And I've had those days. You just got to hang on one day. I used to say depression might kill me one day, but today's not the day. I'll be honest, folks, at this point in my life, I'm pretty sure depression will kill me one day, but today is not the day. So if you're dealing with depression, just make today not the day. Reach out, talk to somebody, get some help, get some medication, talk to a professional. There is hope, and there is a time that you will feel better. It may not last, it may go down again, but you will feel better for a time. And once you end it, if I had done it at 6 years old, 48 years ago, I never would have met my wife. I never would have had my son. I never would have raised him. I never would have helped thousands of people change their lives because of the pain I've been through. I never would have reached out to people I saw with depression, although that's not my professional thing that I do. I can see the signs in other people. I've sent them in the right direction. Why? Because I deal with it. So don't judge people until you walk in their shoes. Don't think that you know their struggle. It doesn't matter what you have. Depression hurts. There's an ad called Depression Hurts for some depression medication. I didn't realize until I saw the ad. Yeah, just like I didn't realize that not everyone at the age of 6 really contemplates killing themselves. I didn't realize that until somebody said at a conference, you know what, tell somebody next to you something about yourself that you think might surprise them. And I just popped that out. And the look on his face was just like, what? You? Yeah, me. So I didn't realize depression hurts. When you're depressed, it hurts. Everything falls apart. My body falls apart. I get sick. My joints hurt. I get injured. This is what happens to people with depression. It is not pleasant to be in my head. But again, because of that, I've changed lives and I'll continue to change lives as long as I'm here. Because of that, I developed my whole confidence formula, because there are days in which, that's the only thing keeping me going, man. On a good day for me, most people would be thinking about it. Most people would be contemplating it, because that's what I deal with in life. And I will continue to deal with it as long as I can. If I ever stop dealing with it, please don't take it personally. Please don't think it's about you or anybody else. It's my journey. It's my struggle. I think Anthony Bourdain and those people, they have a right to do it. You have a right to do it. Don't do it, though, today. You can always do it tomorrow. Hang in there for one day. Call somebody. Talk to somebody. Here's the funny thing again. Even that advice, it's so fucking trite. Because when you're that down, when you're that depressed, when your whole body and mind is screaming, it's time to go. The last thing you want to do is talk to someone, to reach out to someone. There was a time in my life when a doctor asked me, do you think you need to, go into the hospital? And I was quite honest with her. I said, you know what? What's a hospital going to do? I know 20 ways to kill myself in this room. You think they're going to stop me in a hospital? No. If I'm going to go, I'm going to go. But I did get the help, and there is help out there. Suicide hotlines are great. Go get screened for depression if you think that's what's going on in your life. Again, it's not about challenges. It's not about you're weak. If you deal with depression, you have brain chemistry issues. Your brain doesn't work the same way. And when people say just suck it up, hey, just look on the bright side. I don't know, would you tell a diabetic just gut through it? Or would you say get some insulin? Don't judge yourself. I had a girlfriend once that was diabetic. I didn't know about it for 6 months because she was ashamed. She felt weak. Part of my job, part of my reason to be here on this life, and a big part of why I'm opening up about this thing right now, is I want to take out the stigma of depression. I want everyone to know it's a disease. It's real. It's not a moral weakness. When I can't get out of bed, it's not because I'm lazy. It's because my brain is shutting down. When somebody offs themselves who's been dealing with this over their lifetime, believe me, it's not the first time they confronted it. They didn't just decide one day, oh, you know what? That would be a good thing to do. They've been fighting it their whole lives. That's what we walk around with, those of us. I call us fellow travelers. We all have something, we all get to ride that carousel in life. This is not a me kind of thing. This is my journey, though. Again, depression has taught me so much, has helped me to help other people. I couldn't actually give it up, the past part at least. I wouldn't mind giving up the future piece, but I couldn't give up the experience because that's what fascinated me in the mind. I knew my mind worked differently from a young age than everybody else around me. And friends of mine used to notice it once in a while. Kenny, you're getting quiet, man. What's going on? They didn't know. I couldn't explain it. I was back in my head somewhere. It was like I was looking at everyone through a glass, far, far away, muffled tones. And nothing I said got through to them, and nothing they said got through to me. That's what depression's like. So other people might notice it on a bad day. On an okay day, you ain't going to notice it because I'm good at hiding it, as most of us who deal with this are. We're real good. On a day in which we seem normal, if you felt what we feel on the inside, if you heard what we hear on the inside, if you talked in your head the way that we talk, if you had the emotions, if you had the feelings, you couldn't make it. So every time you want to judge somebody who's killed themselves, remember this: go fuck yourself, because you don't know. We get to walk around with a vague sense of superiority. I teach my clients about this. Whatever your struggle is, make it your strength. Whatever it is that makes you less than you think, make it something that makes you more than. I walk around with a sense of superiority a lot of days because I survived. I've been in front of groups of millionaires. I've talked in front of hundreds of people at a time. I tell them all, you know what? I'm not impressed with your millions of dollars. I'm not impressed with your business success. I'm not impressed by a fucking thing you do. Spend a week in the mind of my 6-year-old brain. Survive. Don't jump in front of the car. Then I'll think you're tough. Man, it floors some people because they're so used to thinking so great. It's I made this much money. I've done this. Look what I can accomplish. See how much I can bench. Whatever the fuck it is. I'm stronger than you at the moment. It may kill me one day, but today is not the day. That's all you get with depression. Today is not the day. If you have depression, and thanks everybody for the kind words. If you have depression, get some help because you can't change it. It is changeable. It's a lifelong struggle for a lot of us. It is profound. It colors everything you do. Here's the good part, though. On a day where I'm feeling at parity with the rest of the world, like today, thank God, everything's groovy. Everything's wonderful. Man, you find a good parking space, you're ecstatic. Why? Because you know what it's like not to feel that. You know what it's like not to feel anything. You know what it's like to look at the people you love and literally not feel a fucking thing. Not be able to touch love. Not be able to feel 1 ounce of pleasure. It's called anhedonia. If you've had it, you know it. Nothing feels good. Nothing motivates you. Nothing is worthwhile. And all you can think is everyone around me would be better off if I wasn't here. I am the nexus of everyone's problems. If you're feeling that way right now, it's not true. It's your brain, it's your mind, it's your brain chemistry. It's getting in the way. It's some thinking that you do. Here's how you hopefully get past that. If you got brain chemistry problems, get your brain chemistry checked out. But if you get that checked out, it's not a magic pill, man. Bill Maher used to make a joke about, all these depression pills, the happy pills. They're not happy pills, motherfucker. They're the pills that allow us to have normalized brain chemistry. By the way, if you have depression and you take the pills, it's not going to cure everything. It helps with the brain chemistry, but you've still developed a lifestyle around the fact that you don't know from day to day if you're going to be there the next day. You can't be there to say, hey, on Tuesday, I'll go meet you, because you don't know on Monday night, will I still be here? I got in the habit of telling people, hey, Wednesday, you want to meet me? Call me Tuesday night. Not because I necessarily thought I was going to die, but because I couldn't even think. I couldn't conceptualize. It was a blank wall in front of me. The future was black. And if I did think about it, it was so horrifying. It hurt so bad. It scared me so much that I just learned not to. Keep it on point. That's what I call it, keeping it on point. There are days in which I got to keep it on point. I got to keep my thoughts in a certain direction. Brain chemistry. That's all it is. But again, because of it, I've learned these great techniques of helping people. I help people get confident. I help people get to live lives unapologetically themselves instead of lives of quiet desperation. And somebody's asking me, what's my goal? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? I'm doing it because I do it. I've lived a life of quiet desperation. I know what it's like. I see it in everyone that I see walking around with it. I can see depression. I can smell it from a mile away because it's what I deal with. This is kind of rambling, you know, but I want to be honest. I want to be raw. And I want to let people know out there, because a lot of people out there, after I'm on stage, after I talk about it, after I open up about it, holy shit, they'll come after me and they'll say, you're so courageous to be honest. How fucked up is that in this planet, in this world, in this society, that it's courageous for me to talk about a disability? Because that's what it is. It's a disability. It affects me. How fucked up is it that people would judge someone that was in such pain that their only option in their mind at that moment was to end it, that they literally thought the people I love would be better off without me, or that they couldn't even feel that love. They couldn't feel anything other than pain. So I'm going to say something. If you're having a problem with that, I'm not an expert. I actually am an expert in that I probably know more about depression than most psychologists because I live it, and I got a certain background doing hypnotherapy with people. But if you're feeling it, if you're really feeling it, if you can't find anyone else to reach out to me. I'll chat with you for a while. It's cool. There's something about talking to someone who's been through it. Because when you talk to people who haven't been through it, they just can't understand it. They can try, but they can't. They're trying really hard. And as a depressed person, as someone who deals with this in my life, I really appreciate it when people try to understand it. But, there's an old thing, describe a rainbow to a blind person. This is the opposite, I guess. Describe what it's like not to be able to see a rainbow to a person that lives with them all the time. There's help, man. There's help out there. There's people who care about you. And if it feels like nobody cares about you, one more day, just hang out one more day. Text me, text me. I'll text you back. I'll talk to you. Now, I can't talk to you forever because I'm just trying to get through too. But I will talk to you. And sometimes getting that insight, and realizing you're not a freak. I'm going to recommend a book for people who deal with depression. It's called Edge of Darkness, I believe. It's by Kathy Cronkite. It helped me just really understand more about myself than I ever had. It took a lot of the stigma out for me. It helped me understand that medication was something I needed 20 years ago. And gave it to my wife. She cried. She said, I'd seen you suffer, but I didn't know how you suffered, because it really gives them an insight. So you give it to people you love. They understand a little better what you're going through. It's all short little vignettes from famous people of the time, like Wallace and others that have dealt with depression. So it's easy to digest. Every chapter is about a different aspect. Edge of Darkness, I believe. She talks about the black dog. The black dog is always nipping at your heels. It's a good metaphor. I've given that book to other people who I've seen signs of depression in, and it's changed their lives. They've gotten help before because of it. It's Kathy Cronkite. It's Walter Cronkite's daughter, for those of you who know who that is. And it's Edge of Darkness, I believe. But just look up Kathy Cronkite. I don't think she wrote another book. She wrote it because she dealt with it. Because one thing happens after you deal with this shit, after you're dealing with it, while you're dealing with it, you really feel other people's pain, man. You get it. I get what he was going through, what she was going through. I get the hell that they were going through. And notice, they're very successful people on a material level. Doesn't mean anything. Your brain's telling you to do it. Your brain's telling you everyone else is better off without you. Here's the tough part that I'm going to share with you guys. Not too long ago, I was in that place. So 7 years old, 54 years old, it doesn't matter. I was in that place. And when you're in that place, man, you gravitate towards a couple of things. Sad songs is one of them. There was a song about losing the person you love. from the perspective of the person who lost that person. And usually you hear that song, normal people hear that song and they get really upset and sad because they wonder what it would be like to be without the person they love. They feel, they empathize with the character in the song that's left behind. When I was in that place, I heard that song and it brought me to my knees because I realized that person would be my wife, my son, my friends, and that at least on that day, it was no longer an option. And when you're in that place, man, you take away that option, it seems like you've taken away every last bit of hope. It sounds really sick. It sounds really twisted, but that's what goes through your head. Each and every day, you fight it, you move forward. If you're fighting it right now, keep fighting. Keep fighting the good fight. Be able to say, if you are someone who deals with this, yeah, thank you, on the edge of darkness. Thank you, Nancy. Be able to say, yeah, depression might kill me one day, but today's not the day. Today is not the day. And you know what? I think I'm going to hashtag this mofo. I think the new hashtag for those of us who are depressed, who deal with depression, who deal with suicidal thoughts and ideations is hashtag not today. Actually, honestly, it's not today, motherfucker. But that's just how my brain works. Not today. If you're thinking about doing it, not today. Just make it through one day at a time, man. That 12-step stuff, that's the smartest thing I ever heard in my life. One day at a time. Get through it one day at a time. So I've done a lot of self-disclosure here because honestly, I don't give a fuck what people think about me. It's one of the things I teach other people. Unapologetically me, folks. Warts and all. I am here because I fight every day to be here. And those of us who lose that fight, don't judge them. Feel for them. Feel for the people they left behind. And again, if you are someone who's thinking of doing it, realize this. It is not in a vacuum. It will affect the people that you love. As much as you feel like a piece of shit, they're still going to hurt. The people who love you, even the people who know you. I've heard stories from people who friends committed suicide, friends of friends committed, their neighbor committed suicide, and it fucked them up. So there is that aspect of it. You are hurting other people. I know that may not mean anything to you if you're in that level of pain. I know that you might not understand it. Literally, your brain doesn't want to understand it. So all you got to do is lift up that phone, suicide hotline, reach out to somebody. Again, it's hard. I know it's hard because you don't want to talk to anyone. And by the way, if you've watched this far, if you didn't just come in on it, if you got the recorded version of it, we both know what's going on. You've either dealt with it or you're dealing with it right now. If you're dealing with it right now, like I said, text me. Text me and I will talk to you. And trust me, I know where you're coming from. I know what you're dealing with. I know the pain that you're in. I can't talk to you as a professional. It's not what I do. I'll talk to you as a fellow traveler and I won't judge you. I can't spend my life doing it, but I'll be that one lifeline for that moment in time. Take a shot at it. Because the thing about this is when you're in that place, you got nothing to lose. If y'all want to know what it's like for someone who's really ready to go, y'all want an insight? Y'all want a little taste of it? You want to know what it's like? I'll give you an example. It was a time not too long ago. I was stuck between two trucks, and one of them didn't know I was there, evidently, on the highway. Came in, looked like he could hit me. I felt no fear. It was bizarre. Looking back on it, it's kind of scary. I felt no fear at all. I felt nothing except, yeah, bring it on. If this is the time, let's go. Because I've been holding on long enough. That's some pretty weird shit for people to think. So if you're thinking it, realize brain chemistry. You're not weak. You're not evil. Not pissing God off or whatever the fuck stupid crap you want to bring to the table. And every time you read somebody making a comment, well, when people do that, they're just weak-willed. Realize they don't know what they're talking about. They haven't been there. Walk in the moccasins of somebody who's been there. Don't judge them. That's about it for today. I swear next time I come back online, it'll be all confidence. It'll be all funny. It'll be all rah-rah. Because really, guys, that's why I live. I live to help people break out of that, break out of their lives of quiet desperation. I can't deal with depression professionally. It's not what I do. But I help people be confident, because when you don't have confidence, when you feel depressed, you don't have it. You feel worthless. Confidence is the feeling that you can change something, affect something, or that you're worthwhile. Depression is the opposite of that. Depression rips that away from you. And after you've been depressed for a while and fucked some things up in your life, it's even harder to feel confident. And as part of my journey, I get to help people, whether they've ever dealt with depression, whether they've just walked around feeling like shit about themselves, whether they just never were able to confront something in their lives. I get to help them. I get to help them because of my curse. So final thought is this. We all have a curse in life, something that defines us. And when I mentioned that, you thought of something. What's your curse? You know what it is. I don't need to know what it is. But if you got nothing else out of this, I hope you understand that your curse can be your gift. Because depression is my curse, but it's also my gift. And without that gift, I can't have helped all the people that I have helped. And I can't take that back. Nancy, confidently depressed. I love it. I love it. On a bad day, here's the funny thing. I'm the most optimistic person with depression you're ever going to meet. And yeah, I am one of the most confident mofos you're ever going to come across that deals with this fucking disease. My journey. What's yours? Fuck it. Feel free to share this. I don't care. Reach out. If there's somebody you know that might need to hear this from a fellow traveler, share it. It's not, I'm not ashamed of my disease. Help other people. Don't judge them. Whether it's a mood disorder or a mental illness, whatever it is, shit, there's a lot of value judgment around that. And depression is funny, because you wouldn't tell somebody who's schizophrenic, you know what? Just don't hear voices. Buck it up, Chuck, and ignore the voices. It's a mental illness. It's an illness. Just like diabetes, just like anything else. And like any other illness, there are ways to help treat it. Go get some help. Again, if you're watching it this far, and some of you already have been that I can see, you've dealt with it. You know the story. Here's what you can do to pay it forward. Reach out to somebody who looks down. Give them a call. They may not be the funnest person to be with. The funny thing about depression is this. Studies have shown that depressed people actually read people better in one aspect. There's a lot of things that are skewed about their perceptions, but there's one thing that they read. They read the fact that other people are uncomfortable around them. They read the body language. They get it. So, hey, if somebody's depressed and you reach out to them, they may not respond well. They may get that they feel like they're putting stuff on you and that you don't even want to hear some of the horrible things they're saying. Reach out anyway. What do you got to lose helping? And if you've dealt with depression in your life, I can't tell you to, tell people your story, but I would suggest that you become unapologetically you, that you accept yourself, and that you don't hide it, that you let people know. The best thing about this is this, guys, I'm one of these people, I get on stages, I'm large and in charge. Even though I mention depression, talk about it, people see me and they go, maybe that's Sonya's past. No, it is part of who I am. And so people like us, man, I've been told, don't mention this. People will think you're weak. They're not going to want to come to you. They're going to want to avoid you. They won't want to have you work on them for sure. That's untrue. I've had more people come to me after hearing about this. I've had more people open up. I've had more people say to me, because of what you told me, what you said on that stage, I accept me better. I went and got help. So pay it forward, guys. Be open. Be open about it. Take the shame out of this shit. Hashtag not today. Ling So, I don't know if there's a cure. Please feel free to let me know. If you want to, let me know about herbs and this and that, and I can do a mantra and sit under a pyramid. Yeah, that's great. Maybe I'll try it. All I know is today is not the day. So that's all you can do. Hashtag not today. Spread it around for all those people who suffer daily with this stuff. I wish that Anthony Bourdain or Kate Spade had been able to talk to me. I think I could have talked it out of them at least for a day. And that's all we got. Even you people, the ones that don't deal with it, all we got is today. So enjoy it. Make the most of it. Long ass video. Again, I swear the next one will be so much more empowering. So much more empowering. But hopefully this one empowered you too. Hope to see you again soon. No guarantees in life. By the way, one of the things, for those of you who really think, I love you too, Nan. For those of you who really think about it a lot, for those of you who really want, here's the upside. You can get hit by a bus tomorrow. Hang in there. It can happen for you. No need. No need. You're going to be dead one day forever. It will all end. Don't rush it. See what tomorrow brings. Oh, thank you, Ling. I'm glad this is empowering. I will, again, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, the next day, whatever. Today is not the day. Hashtag today is not the day. Oh, man, that is going up. Do me a favor. If you watch this far, hashtag not today. And we'll spread it around. Maybe we'll help some people understand, day by day they can get through it. Love to everybody. Because, by the way, one of the great things about this disease is you got to get in a very spiritual place sometimes to get through it. And I mean it when I say today, more than most days even, love to everybody. And if you ain't feeling loved, I love you. Hang in there.